Good afternoon. Hope you guys are having a great Monday, having a start of the work week. This video is either going to come out Tuesday or Wednesday. Hoping to get it out tomorrow. I'm filming this on Monday kind of thing. October, I don't know, 6th or something. 7th? I don't know. A date, I'm losing track of dates. But anyways, I know you guys aren't here for me to ramble. You're here about the 5 things that I've learned since graduating school, and I want to talk to you guys about them. Like I said, yeah, there's 5 things I want to talk about, and I would definitely stick around to number 5 because I think that is probably the most important one in my opinion, because it encapsulates all the other 4, but it really, in my opinion, just strikes it down as like the most important. Starting off with number 1, I guess you could say number 1 that I've learned, one of the things I've learned out of the 5 is no one really cares about the partying and what you did in school, right? You go to a job interview, they're not going to ask you how much beers you drank. Well, if you went to tailgates or you went to football games, or if you went partying or you did whatever, right? No, they don't care. When no one cares about that. And like God's honest truth, no one cares about the partying and all the stuff that you did in school. They only really care about what you did in school. How did you study? What did you study? Like, did you do clubs? Did you do activities? Like, and activities doesn't mean drinking your brains out. That's not the activity I'm talking about. Activities like, did you do clubs? Did you do intramurals and stuff like that? Did you be active or like participated while you were studying? And how did you study? What did you study? Your habits and stuff like that. Like, were you just book smart naturally and you didn't have to study? Or did you bust your chops for 8 hours in the library for a class to get the A kind of thing? So no one cares about what you did in school. They cared about how you did school, how you studied, is what I'm getting at. Number 2, in my opinion, this one's pretty big, is you're not as smart as you think. And I have it written down right here, and it's literally like the 2 and 3 go together, but I separated them out. You're not as smart as you think. And it's very true. You're not as smart as you think. You're only smart as the textbook teaches you. And in reality, outside of school, no one really cares about the textbook. Sure, the textbook will help in instances, but in reality, a lot of the textbook you don't apply to. You don't use a lot of it. At least, like with my field, you don't use a lot of the textbook. You learn from the first-hand experience. Now, yes, plant species and stuff like that for biology, sure, it comes important if you're doing like a wetland delineation or stuff like that. Yes, I'll give you that. But if you're talking about total credit hours, you're maybe using, for that stuff, maybe 12 to 15 credit hours out of like 120 credits that you're really going to be using. It's very rudimentary math for my field, at least. It's not very difficult stuff to do. It's not too terribly hard. It's not. Math-wise, it's not hard. Conceptually, it's very simple. Like, if you know basic biology, you're fine. Plant species may be the hardest, but again, most of the time you're studying while you're at work, you're studying the plant species and stuff that you need to look out for when you do delineation. Again, delineations is just the example that I'm using. And yeah, it's pretty, like, you're not as smart as you think. And this goes into number 3, which is you don't know anything. You literally don't know anything coming out of school. You know the textbook, and that's it. You don't know how the business operates. You don't know how any of that stuff operates at all. You may sit here and be like, oh yeah, I do. I worked at an internship at JP Morgan or blah, 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 blah. I know what I'm doing. No, you don't. You had 3 months at a very lower than entry level job. You did very, very little in terms of actual business or actual hands-on field work, because they don't want to give you the work, because you're just a massive liability if you're an intern. You are, because you don't know anything. At least within your entry level, you're following someone who's higher up and they're teaching you the ways. When you're an intern, you're pretty much just there to say you got experience to put it on your resume. But you don't know anything. You don't know how the business operates. You don't know the project management. You don't know the billing. You don't know any of that stuff. And you'll learn it as you go, but do not go into your first position or your first job thinking you know what you're going to be doing. You don't. You have no idea. And this right there will bleed into number 5, which is very, in my opinion, like I said, is the most important one around and most the most pertinent idea, in my opinion. Number 4, again, I guess I'm not really wrong. Not wrong, but like, I guess it all goes back into 5. But number 4 is ask every question you can get. Like, ask every chance you can get. Don't be afraid to look dumb. Seriously, do not be afraid to look dumb in your position. When you first start out, you're not going to know anything. You're going to get taught the ropes. You're going to get taught, how everything operates, how everything goes on, what goes on, how it happens, why it happens, and it happens this way for a reason. It's been happening like that for 10, 15, 20 years, whatever it may be. Don't go in expecting that all of a sudden you know how to optimize something and make it faster and efficient when you're very green. That's a very cocky and egocentric mindset to have, and you're gonna get humbled really, really quick. And I've seen it happen. It happened to me. Like, I got reality checked, like thinking, oh, I can do this quicker. Then I did it wrong, and it costs more time to redo it, and it turns into the whole snowball effect. But ask a question every chance you can get. Don't be afraid to look dumb, because you rather look dumb now when you're first starting out than when you get 2, 3, 4 years down the line in your career and you don't know what to do on that, and you should have asked it 4 years ago just for the number, and all of a sudden you're going to look like a big dumb idiot because it's a very rudimentary skill or a very rudimentary practice that you should have had, that you should have learned when you first started out, rather than when you're in a mid-level position. 5th and final thing, like I said, this is the most important in my opinion of when you're first starting out and pretty much throughout your whole career, is be humble. Like, be humble, and 2, take accountability. Like, those 2 things are disappearing very quickly in today's modern age of working. People don't know how to be humble. They think they know everything coming out of school, and they don't. They're very cocky. They're very puffed up, like blowhard, ready, like, oh, I know what I'm doing. I know how to do this. And you don't. You really don't. You have no idea. Every business operates differently, and you're thinking that you're like comparing apples and oranges. Like, you know how to do it one way, and in reality it has to be done the other way. But you think you're so dead set in your ways that you think this way is going to work rather than this way. And it's the ego that's going to get you and your butt chewed out a lot. You're going to get chewed out a lot because you can't put your ego aside. So remain humble. Ask questions. Like I said, number 4, ask questions, because you don't know a lot of stuff, and you need to, and you need to ask questions. But like the second point in number 5 is take accountability. When you mess up, for the love of God, take accountability for it. Don't try to pit the blame. Don't try to spin the blame. Don't try to make excuses. Just say, I made this mistake. I don't know why I made that mistake. Like, can you show me where I made the mistake? Can you show me, again, that's humbleness too, is can you show me where I made this mistake and how I can rectify it so it doesn't happen again? Now, don't be the person who's like, oh, I didn't do this spreadsheet, or I didn't do this purchase order all of a sudden, and you did some of the back end work on it, and you did work on it, but you try to pit the blame into someone else. You try to spin it into someone else and be like, oh, so-and-so did this, I didn't do it. When in reality, you should check their work, check their stuff, make sure they did it good, or you didn't, and it's gonna come back on you, because you're the last person to either sign on the purchase order or to do the work for the purchase order, and it's gonna come back to you. So you're the last in line. If you're the last one to review or QC something, at the end of the day, that's your stamp of approval that everything's good to go. And when it comes back and it gets kicked back to you because it's wrong, or you did it wrong, or the purchase order is wrong, it's your fault. And you have to sit there and take it, because it is your fault. You should have QC'd everyone else's work beforehand of submitting it and having your name on it. It's your name. I want to make that very, very clear. If you're an engineer, or you're a geologist, or you're a biologist, and you sign something on on a legal document, on a document that basically has your stamp of approval, that is your liability. And I'm just using those 3 professions as examples because that's what I work in and who I work with. When I sign things and sign stuff in my name, that's my signature. You have to realize that it's very much your signature, and that's your name that you're signing on that piece of paper for a purchase order, for a proposal, whatever it may be. That's your signature, that's your word, and that is your name. Don't allow your name to be tarnished because you couldn't take the 5 minutes to QC someone else's work, and now you look like a dummy because you did the purchase order wrong, and now you look untrustworthy, or you won't take accountability, and then you look even more untrustworthy. You look very egocentric and very blowhardy. So again, take accountability and be humble was my most important one I cannot convey and stress enough to you guys. So like I said, I hope you guys did enjoy it. For number one, no one cares about your partying. A quick summary: no one cares about your partying. Number two, you're not as smart as you think you are. You're not as smart as the textbook. Like, no one cares about the textbook. 3, you don't know anything. You don't know how the business line operates. You don't know anything. 4, ask questions every chance you can get. Ask questions every chance you can get so you can make the mistakes now and not repeat them a few years down the road and make you look even dumber. And number 5, what has 2 parts in it: be humble. Understand that you're not going to know anything, and you need to be a sponge and soak up all the information, and all the information you get, whether it's you're not going to use it or you're going to use it, doesn't matter. Soak up every bit of information that you can. It's only going to help you. And number 2, in that subsection, take accountability. Take accountability for your mistakes, own your mistakes, but make sure you don't repeat those mistakes over and over and over again. That's the definition of insanity. Doing the same thing over and over again and expecting a different result. So take accountability, very much take accountability, because it's gonna make you look better, because you're taking, like I said, accountability, and you're taking fault for your actions and telling people that they won't happen again. So I hope you guys have a great day. If these points did resonate to you guys, subscribe to the channel, leave a like, take the comments, let me know what you think. What are things that you guys think that are important when you're coming out of school, or what you should know, or what you should have, or learn, or stuff like that. Take the comments, let me know. So hope you guys have a great day. I hope you guys take care, and I will see you guys in the next video, y'all. Have a good one.